Corey Kent.
Corey and I had a brief discussion on text messages the other day, and he said, "Hey, man, thanks for letting me come on your show." And I honestly didn't know he was coming on the show yet. And I said, "Oh, I had no idea. That's awesome. I can't wait to see you." And then he said, "Oh, never mind. My people haven't asked yet."
Oh.
And so
Whoops.
his people hadn't asked, and I didn't know anybody else. And so anyway, it obviously worked out. It's good to see you, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me again.
I tell people, too, because people love you as an artist. And mostly if I'm like, hey, who's real good? That's like making it. But you're waiting for them to make it. Like your name comes up a lot. And don't say thanks to me because mostly it's from other people. Mostly I just agree and I'm like, yeah, I love that guy. But what people think's funny is that your wife took pictures at like my family's wedding. Like Grace and DJ's wedding, his wife was taking pictures. So because they're
like
from,
she was the photographer.
Yeah.
She was. I know, but the way you say it,
Sorry,
she was just there
fancy.
taking pictures.
Right. So will you back that story?
Yeah. Well, my vantage point is so Dana, if you've seen like all of our like this photo, all my album art, Dana's like super talented photographer. And she used to do weddings, but just like selective. If she knew the people or if it was in a really cool place, she would take that gig. She kind of slowed down on that just because it keeps both of us away on the weekends from all the kids. But this particular wedding, she's like, I'm gonna do this one, and she came back from that wedding and was like, I met Bobby Bones and his wife, and they were super nice. And I'm going, this is like years ago, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, so you told them about me, right? And she's like, no. I'm like, what? This could have progressed my career. Like, what are we doing here? That's my vantage point of it. But I saw some of the photos. It looked like a blast.
It was a blast. Where'd you grow up specifically?
Bixby, Oklahoma.
And that's exactly where we were for the wedding. And
Is that right?
Yeah, there's an awesome Sonic there. And I know
That's our only claim.
Well, it's kind of how I know places. Like towns are as good as their Sonics are strong.
Yeah.
And there was a new, really strong Sonic there. And I know you guys from sports in Oklahoma.
Now,
Yeah.
Bixby's kind of become a football dynasty out there. It was not that way when I was there.
Oh, they weren't good when you were a kid?
We were a wrestling school when I was growing up. But my little brother, who just graduated, I think that they lost one game in 4 years that he was there. Something like that. I mean,
that's what I know them for. It's like being dominant at football.
State title after state title after at the highest level. It's crazy. And that town has, I think, like 3 or 4x'd in size since I graduated.
Well, you get a big Sonic, everybody comes running.
I know, man.
That's kind of how it works. Will you tell them the story? Because I don't think they know it. Because they're all Texans. You got a room full of Texans. Not me.
Are you really?
Yeah, we got all Texans.
Come
Will you
on.
tell them your Willie Nelson story?
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys know this story?
No.
Okay,
No.
this is the greatest story I've ever heard. Okay.
Dude. Yeah, because we talked about this on the
Yeah.
podcast. So I was 16 years old. We got to preface this by the reason that I love Willie Nelson's music is because my grandfather, who a couple months ago passed away, he was my person. So this story is really fun for me to think of because it's one of my favorite memories with him. So my uncle buys my grandfather tickets, like really good seats, like third or fourth row seats to Willie Nelson. And I think Willie's in his late 70s at this point. I'm 16 years old. I just got my driver's license. And they come to the house. They live in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. And so they came up to the house because he was playing in Tulsa. And obviously our house is closer to Tulsa than theirs. So they were staying at our house. And my uncle's like, you should really think about, getting a ticket to this show because Willie's a legend. You haven't seen him live. You love country music. This might be your last chance to see him. Little did we know he'd still be touring like
now
100 years later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyways, I was like, you're right. So 16-year-old kid, I don't have any money. Tickets are expensive. So I was like, well, I'll just drive up there and I'll wait outside and, get a ticket from somebody scalping tickets. And that's what I did. I waited till about 10 minutes after the show. I got a ticket from some guy who was just trying to make a buck off of them. And once the show starts, you can't really make any money off them. So I got a $10 ticket. And I walked in, and at this point in my life, I couldn't really enjoy a concert because all I could think about is like, what would I do if I was up there? Would I be ready? What would I sing? Would I be ready for that moment? And, obviously that's never happened, but I've gone to a lot of shows and I've had that same feeling. And this night just felt a little different. And so I'm up in the nosebleeds with the $10 ticket, and I walked over to this sweet lady at the concession stand, and I was like, this is going to sound super odd, but do you have any like cardboard or anything? And so she walked to the trash, she pulled out a piece of cardboard and handed it to me, and she's like, what do you want this for? And I was like, one other question, do you have a Sharpie I could use? And she got me a Sharpie, and I wrote, it's my dream to play a song with you. And I didn't know what I was going to do with that sign, but I ended up in the nosebleeds. And one thing that you also have to understand about my grandfather is that he loved Maker's Mark. And you add Maker's Mark and Willie Nelson, like he's having the time of his life. Anyway, my uncle calls me. He's like, did you make it in? I was like, yeah. I'm way up here. And he's like, bro, I need a beer. Like, I need you to come sit down here with your grandfather and make sure he's all right. And because my grandfather's like third row, eyes closed. Willie Nelson's playing, hands up.
He's feeling it.
It is a spiritual experience for this man. So I tried to walk down there, and I got stopped by a security guard because you had to have like a wristband to be on the floor or whatever. And I was like, this isn't going to work. I walked back up, walked around to the next security guard, and I was like, I just got to act like I belong here. Walk straight through with my sign. I sit down next to my grandfather, and I'm like, this is my chance, you know? So I hold this sign up, and I hold it up for a couple songs. And the guy behind me is pissed because I'm blocking his view. And these people pay good money for this seat, right? Like, so I hold the sign up, and Willie sees the sign, and he leans over, and he takes his bandana off his head, and he throws it to me. It's like a very obvious, like, thanks for being here. Put the sign down. So, of course, being, naive, bullheaded 16-year-old me, I take the bandana, and I put it in my pocket, and I'm like, that's crazy. I got a bandana from Willie Nelson. And then I put the sign up. And he leaned over again a couple songs later, and he threw me another bandana. And I was like, this is great, man. I was like, hey, Papa, check this out. Like, open your eyes for a second. I got a bandana for you. And then I put the sign back up. And and the third time, he leans over, he throws me another bandana. I'm not kidding. This is the third bandana off this guy's head. And I grabbed it, and I looked behind me, and I talked to the guy behind me, and I was like, bro, I'm sorry. I got to do this, but you can have this bandana. Like, hopefully this buys me a little grace here. I put the sign back up, and he leans over, and he goes, all right, what do you want to play? And up to this point in my life, I'd been in this Western swing band for like 5 years. From age 11 to 16, I was part of a Western swing band which plays like Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys. It was basically like a cover band for that, but I knew that nobody in that place wanted to see a random 16-year-old kid sing On the Road Again or Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain. Like, they want to hear Willie sing that, right? And I also knew that Willie loved Bob Wills. Like, that's one of his biggest inspirations. And I'd seen him play this song called Milk Cow Blues, which is one of my favorite songs to sing that I played in my band. So he leaned over, he goes, what do you want to sing? And I said, Milk Cow Blues. And I could see his eyes go like, what does a 16-year-old kid know about 1930s Dust Bowl era, Bob Wills music? And he's like, all right, get up here. And so it was like a mad dash, like a blur of time. They escorted me over. They started the song. Like, we didn't talk about what key is this going to be in. Like, it could have been an absolute train wreck. It could have been terrible. If they started that song too high or too low, I wouldn't have been able to sing it. But they played it in the exact key that we played it in. And I walked up there, and he goes, what's your name? And I was like, Corey Kent. And he walks up to the mic, and he goes, Corey Kent, everybody. And the coolest moment, I think still to this day, the coolest moment in my career was, Willie obviously doesn't know if I can sing at all. Like, I could have been terrible. So he's right there next to his mic, basically ready to take over if I get up there and bomb. And I started singing the first, well, I woke up this morning, and I just saw this, like, huge grin on Willie's face of like, oh, thank God this kid can sing, you know what I mean? And he gets this big grin, and he just nods at me, and he lets me sing the whole song. And in the middle of the song, I'm like, nobody at school is going to believe this on Monday. Like, and nobody 16 years old is at this Willie Nelson concert. Like, nobody from my school is here. So I pull out my phone and I'm like, I'm gonna snap a quick picture while they're taking a solo. And I'm like, my hands are shaking. So I take this picture and it looks like the ghost of Willie Nelson. Like you can't tell, you can't see anything. And so get done with the song and he's like, hey, come backstage after the show. I'd love to talk to you. And they send me back to the seat and I sit down and I'm like looking at my grandfather and he's still eyes closed, hands up. I'm like, he didn't even see this, man. Like, I don't even know if he knew what was going on. But I sat back down. And I'm like, dang it, this was like the coolest moment of my life. And nobody's going to believe it. And there's going to be no proof of it. And I sit back down and the guy behind me taps me on the shoulder. He's like, are you going to leave that sign down now? Like, am I going to be able to watch this show now? And I was like, yeah, I'm so sorry about that. And he goes, well, here's my card. I got the whole thing on film. Oh. And he had a handy cam.
Wow.
Like, so the only video that exists is from that poor guy that was, blocked the whole time. But that after the show, I got to talk to Willie for a few minutes and I was like, hey, if you have any advice for a kid that wants to take a real stab at this music thing, what would it be? And he goes, it's easy. You got to write great songs. And if you don't know how to write great songs, you got to go spend some time in Nashville, Tennessee, where some of the greatest songwriters in the world live. And that's what I did. 6 months later, I was 17 years old. I packed up and I moved out here, I slept in my truck till I made some friends and then crashed on their couches and tried not to overstay my welcome. But I've still not been able to reconnect with Willie, but that night changed my life, changed the trajectory of my life. And now we're here.
Tell me that's not a top 5 story.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing.
It's one of the greatest stories.
Yeah.
I watched the video, and it's like, I'm not sure the brand, but you're on like an Under Armour pullover. Like
you
got a short haircut, buzz cut, blue jeans. I mean, he just looks like a kid who was just playing baseball and then decided to go to the show.
That's so
And
good.
you do see Willie just like smiling at you from the side, like, oh, he's got this. And he it like tickled him.
Yeah, you could tell. It was, he's one of the, obviously, he is one of the people who enjoys live music on a completely different level. I mean, he's still doing it. Like, it brings him so much joy, and you can just tell in every show. And he's playing with family members up there and everything. It was just, I don't know. That night really just solidified, like, what I wanted to do, but also just, like, built in this inherent love for live music. Like, I think I just caught the bug from him.
Did you just have a 4th kid?
I did.
How long ago?
6 months.
How's that going?
Well, pure chaos.
4?
Pure chaos, yeah.
4 is a lot.
But my wife and I were talking. I was like, I don't know if we got lucky on the 4th one or if we finally figured something out. But she is like the chillest. And it's like she knows she's the 4th and that we didn't have any more capacity, So it's been really nice. And I feel like knowing like this was kind of our last hoorah. I think we just kind of approach it with a different mentality. I think we just have like a little more patience and we enjoy the like small moments a little more.
How old is your oldest?
8.
So was it always you were going to have 4 kids? Was that what you guys had talked about? Or did you just keep going because you enjoyed it?
We always thought we'd have like 3. And really we didn't know. My wife's one of 4, so that probably plays into it a little bit, but we didn't know. We thought we were done after 3. And then in December of last year, we had a miscarriage that was kind of unexpected. The pregnancy itself was unexpected. Obviously, like we'd never walked through that. And that was like, I did not understand like the devastation that came along with that. Like when somebody else would be like, hey, this is what we walked through, I'd be like, man, I'm so sorry. But I had a hard time like sympathizing with that. And then after walking through it, I'm like, and what these kids become, those relationships and what they grow into. And it was just devastating. And I think that was the moment that we realized, okay, well, maybe we're not done. Like we wanted this more than we thought we did. And so thank God, like, baby Ivy is here and healthy. But it's pretty cool to hear our kids talk about it because they are very adamant about we have 5 kids in our family. We just have one up there, and we'll get to meet her or him someday. But yeah, that's not to bring the mood down or anything, but that's the story. That's the real raw story of how we ended up with 4 kiddos, and life is just full and chaotic and fun, and it's really nice to that they don't care at all about my music. And I'm just dad, so it's nice to have just like a really stable place to go home to, people that love you for you, not for a platinum record on your wall or whatever.
Dude, nice flex throwing that in there at the end.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it's
platinum record.
real.
Yeah.
real
It's
li-
like,
oh.
yeah. No, they'll love me for being a singer or the platinum record on the wall. Yeah.
Well, I always just say someday, people aren't gonna care. Someday they just everybody, even some of the greatest of all time, who have achieved everything. I think that fades, but I measure. I'm trying to project out a bit, and I think success to me is do my kids still want to hang out with me when I'm older and they've grown up, and how full is my table, when the music's gone, and hopefully that's not for a long time, but I just never wanted to have personal life regrets. And it's hard enough making it in music, right? Just to break through and become somebody that people are paying attention to, and we were like, man, that's hard. You know what we should do is have 4 kids in the middle of that and make it really hard, the hardest part of raising kids and the hardest part of building a career. Let's do it all at the same time. But it's beautiful. It's chaotic. It's just full.
You moved from Texas to Nashville, but then I know you moved back to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still in Texas now?
Yeah. Moved there really right a few months before the pandemic. And that was I live in Salina, Texas, and it's kind of a if it ain't broke, don't fix it approach. But yeah, we moved back. I got dropped as a songwriter. I was writing songs for other people, and just randomly got a phone call one Monday that said, "Hey, we really believe in you. We think that you have all the potential in the world, but you're fired." And I was like, "Dang, this is a terrible time. We just bought our first house.
Are you living here?
Out in Dixon, Tennessee.
Yeah.
We just had our first baby girl out here, and I lost my job, and so we were like, well, we want to raise our kids around my grandfather and my grandmother super close to me, and my wife's part of a big Italian family, and family's everything. So we were like, we want to raise our kids with that. We want to give them that, and the only thing that was keeping us in Nashville was that contract to write. And so when that kind of dried up, we moved out to Texas, and I was like, all right, I'm getting the band back together. I'm going to buy a van. We're going to go hit the road. And everybody here in Nashville was like, dude, if you want a music career, you're basically committing career suicide by leaving. That ain't going to happen. And I was like, man, well, we're going to give it all we got. We're going to go build it the way that, the only way that I knew how to build it, which was show by show on the road. And as soon as we got there, the world shuts down for a couple of years. It's it was just the worst timing. So
no tour. You're getting
no
publishing money because you're not writing anymore, and now you can't tour to make money.
Yeah, it was the first time in my life, in my adult life, where it's how am I going to make any money?
New baby.
Yeah, it was brutal. So shopped around, tried to get any work that I could. Worked at a motorcycle shop, worked at a pavement company, and just kept taking we sold our house in Dixon, Tennessee, and we made $60,000 on that house. And when the world started finally opening up in early 2021, really Texas kind of opened up earlier than the rest of the world. Maybe not Florida, but
not Tennessee either, to be
Really?
fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was the only gig that I had was playing at a taco shop in Louisville, Texas, and I was doing that for $50 and free tacos, and but I had to play somewhere. I couldn't not play. It just was for me. And we took that $60,000 and in 2021 we were losing $1,000 or $2,000 a night opening up for Randy Rogers and Josh Abbott. We were getting paid $250, and obviously you got to pay the band. And we rode that money all the way down to within $1,000, and then Wild as Her came out, and it changed everything.
So when you say Wild as Her came out, what do you mean? You just put it up on streaming and then it popped,
In a way. So we had been putting out songs like every 6 to 8 weeks, just religiously. And then at the end of that, we put out 8 or 9 songs, and it was like the end of 2021. And we were like, well, we kind of accidentally created a record. So we packaged it, we called it 21. And it did really well for us, especially in Texas. We were starting to see people show up at these shows, and we were kind of transitioning from the desired opener to like, oh, we can sell our own tickets now. And then I had this next song, Wild as Her, just like in the can, ready to go. But the record had just come out in December, like late December. And I remember talking to some people that I look up to and respect, and I'm like, what do you think I should do next? Like, I have this song, should I put it out? And everybody's like, don't put it out. You just put out a record. You got to let it breathe. You got to let it have its moment. And I was just like, I don't feel like anything that I've ever done by the book has worked ever. Like everything has been backwards, right? You move to Nashville, you think you got a job right, and you get dropped. You move to Texas, you're going to hit the ground running, you're going to build it on the road, and the world shuts down, right? And so I've been putting out this music, and I was like, we've been consistent. We should just do it again. So we put that song out in early March. So just, 2 months after releasing a record, and it was doing okay. And then I got a call from my manager probably a month or maybe a couple months after the song was out, and he was like, hey, I think you're having a moment on social media. And I was like, what does that even mean? Because I'm very involved in like the creation of content, but I'm not super involved in like how we roll it out and the posting of it and all that. It drives me crazy. So I don't do a lot of that part of it. And he was like, you've got people making so many videos to this song, and it just kept growing, dude. It became a gold record while we were an independent band in Texas, rolling around in a van, and it just kept going. And then we were playing a biker bar in McKinney, Texas, and 12 different record labels showed up, and 11 people offered.
Way.
Yeah, and obviously not all based on that song. They came to the show, and we were playing like 2-hour sets, and we had sold out this little biker bar, maybe 400 or 500 people, but they knew all they knew the 21 record, they knew the From the West record, the stuff that we've been playing for a couple years in that scene. And we got 11 record deal offers, and we picked the one that we thought was the best team that would fit with us, and they took it to radio, and now it's a triple platinum.
Yeah, flex it.
Freaking number one hit.
Triple platinum number one hit.
But to me, I'm like, I say that because I'm like, how crazy is it that song, like we celebrated that song going number one in a van. Like it just was like this rags to riches moment of just like what are the actual odds that you would get dropped, move to Texas, COVID happens, you keep putting out music, and then eventually one becomes, it's still being played on the radio. It was just, I don't know. And hitting all those lows, working at the pavement company, doing something I was terrible at, that I wasn't passionate about, just trying to get by. Like hitting those lows, when I finally got back to playing music, even though we were losing money every night, like I was happier than I had been in a long time. And I was like able to I was like just filled with gratitude that I was able to do what I love to do again. And so, I don't know, I tell that story not as like look at what this song did and how big this song is. It's like the odds of that happening were so slim. Like I really thought that maybe music for me, maybe the fulfillment that I was looking for was going to just come from playing at the taco shop, and that was maybe reality for me. But I was still going to do that because I learned through that process that like, I love this. I have to do this for me. But obviously super grateful that these songs have connected with people, and I get to do this for a living and take care of my family. It's a dream, man.
I saw you teasing a duet. Have you announced that yet?
No. I haven't announced it.
Just teased it.
I feel titillated and teased right now. Is it a good one?
yeah, it's pretty dope.
If you said no, I would think that was the funniest thing. It's like,
It's not very
know.
good. I was in the studio actually last week. It was kind of the last like putting the bow on the record. This feature, and I looked over. The guy's manager was there, and I was like, you know how crazy this is for me. Like this guy's music.
the person you're not saying.
The person I'm not saying.
But you're saying it's a guy.
It's somebody that the engineer was impressed by.
I was picturing a girl.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, well, I was like, the music that this particular dude's music was like really influential in my career and kind of the lane that I ended up in country music. And I'm sitting there like, hey, what if you try this? And then it just hit me. I was like, what am I like? How did I get here? Like I'm making music with a guy that has influenced my music. And he's like, yeah, that's a good idea. And we're just going back and forth as peers. And it was just I don't know. I don't know if other people feel this way, but it's just a crazy, it's been a crazy journey for me. And I still feel like the regular dude that's working at the pavement company that gets to make music and to be in there with like, you know, a guy I really look up to who's done it at a high level for a really long time. It just like, it's just crazy. It's like those moments where you life almost forces you to stop, slow down enough to smell the roses, and you're like, man, just life could have ended up so differently.
Okay, I made a list. Don't react. Don't react. Obviously, number one on my list is
These are
Willie
guesses?
Nelson. Yes, just guesses. Don't react.
These are guesses.
Don't react. It's Willie Nelson, just because of that story. And number two is going to be like a Evan Felker from Turnpike. Number three is going to be a Pat Green.
Sick.
You're reacting.
I'm not reacting. I'm just,
But I mean, that would be
nodded.
I'm
epic.
listening.
I also put on like a Stoney LaRue or some.
Oh.
It could be really anyone because he's a Texas guy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we all lived in Texas for a long time, so I'm thinking about like who are the people that we.
And those guys have been doing it for a bit.
I feel like with Willie though, this is just my first thought when you said that. I don't think he would suggest anything. Like, you know, he said they were going back and forth as peers.
Oh, really?
Like, I was just like,
Hey.
however,
That's a great point.
Like, I don't think he's going, hey,
Good
Willie, why don't
point.
we go ahead and try to take that down? And
Good point.
like,
Good
he'd
point,
probably
good
just
point,
sit
good
back
point. Willie,
and let
say it like
be.
this.
Hey,
Say it
Willie,
like that.
sing it like this.
Yeah.
A little less
Okay,
nasal.
okay,
I
okay.
just think that's probably off the table.
How did the Co Wetzel song come together then?
Oh man, this is a fun one. So Co and I had been kind of playing quite a few shows together, just getting billed on the same things, you know, a lot of kind of musical fan overlap. And so got to spend some good time together. Hung out in Denver one night, and I just realized how much cooler Co was than me because he was hanging out with like Justin Gaethje and all these like top tier UFC fighters. I'm such a huge UFC fan. But we were just hanging out, and just that relationship naturally developed. And I've been a fan of how Co has built his career for a long time. He's been, you know, kind of outside of the mainstream for a bit, but just built this huge fandom. Like he is a lot of people, especially in Texas and in that area of the world. He's a lot of people's favorite country artist. And anyway, so I've respected him for a long time, looked up to him in a lot of ways. And anyway, I wrote this song, Rocky Mountain Low, and one of my favorite things about country music is like I think the challenge of being a good narrator. Like I know a good example is like I know Garth Brooks didn't get shot by his ex-wife, but I love hearing him sing Thunder Rolls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like George Strait is masterful storyteller, and you know I even think like Hardy, Wait in the Truck. Like I know he's not in prison, but damn, I believe the song. It's just so good. Like some people can tell stories so well. So this song felt like a really cool challenge to like, can I tell this story well? But it got to the second verse and wrote it. And the day that we wrote it with, you know, three of my buddies, I was like, man, this almost feels like Co wrote this verse. And so I texted him the song, and to get a duet across the finish line is like impossible. I mean, there's just, especially if you guys are both on labels and you got, you know, management and all, just so many people,
releases.
schedules.
Yeah.
So I sent the song to Co, and he was like, dude, I am in. This is a song. And I was like, what if we just do it and don't tell anybody? And so that's exactly what we did. We booked a studio out in Cisco, Texas, and booked the film crew, and we went out there and we cut the song, and we turned it in, and I said, hey, I want this to be the first thing off the new record. I think this is the perfect thing to kind of set the tone for the next chapter of country music in my career. And 3 days later, it shipped to radio. Like, to my team's credit, they didn't get in the way of that. They were really fully behind it. But two is like, in today's world, everything's very data heavy. It's like, oh, the song's gotta stream X amount for X amount of time, and then it'll go to radio if it hits all these benchmarks. And we were just like, man, Ko and I both really believe people are gonna dig this song. Like, our fans are gonna like this, and we should just follow that. And like, forget the data. Like, there's still a place for like taste making in country music. Like, I tell this dumb story about like getting my son to try steak for the first time. He's like, well, it's not a cheeseburger. I'm like, just close your eyes and try this. You don't know, you're going to love this, but you don't know it yet. And, he takes his first bite. He's like, this is amazing, and I still feel like that is a responsibility of artists. But I think we kind of lose the forest for the trees sometimes. And we want to know without a doubt that a song's going to work. But the beauty of this was like, we followed our gut, we followed our intuition, and we put the song out, and it's been the fastest climbing radio single we've ever had. And just like a really cool and different texture in the country music landscape. It's just been a fun thing. But kind of took a page out of Ko's book, and we just did whatever the hell we wanted to do.
That's definitely a page out of Ko's book.
Yeah.
That's the book he wrote.
Yeah.
Just does whatever he wants to do. And I respect him for it.
Me too, man. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Just the way that he's gone about his business is like, silence the noise, follow your gut, and it's worked out pretty well for him. So,
new album you just announced, Heartland Rock and Roll. Is there a date on when you're putting it out?
I think there is.
Or like an like a month or something?
Yeah, September.
Yeah.
I know it's September. I think that they put a specific date on there.
How many songs?
15.
Did you have more than that and you had to like cut it down to 15?
Yeah.
Is that hard?
It is tough, man, especially in an era where people are putting out 35 song records.
Yeah.
But I got to be realistic about where I am in my career. I don't think people have I don't have the attention span to listen to 35 songs from anybody. So I just like, I don't know. I think 15's a good number. I have only really put out like 10, 11, 12 song records. That's kind of been my formula of just on to the next. But this one, man, to be honest with you, I've obviously been proud of any record that I've put out, because like, you work hard on them and you believe in the songs. But when I think of Stapleton, I think of the Traveler record. When I think of Eric Church, I think of the Chief record. When I think of Kings of Leon, I think about Come Around Sundown. Like, there's just certain records that I just, John Mayer, I think of Continuum. There's just certain records that are just catalyst in these people's careers. But it's just what I think about when I think about that artist. And I've never really felt like I had that. And I think really for the first time ever, I'm like, man, this might be the record that when people think about my name, they're going to think about this record. And that's an exciting place to be. And so I just didn't want, I finally got some time. We have to put out music so fast. I think faster than ever. Finally just was like, stop rushing. Like, trust the process. Let's just make the best record we can possibly make. And when it's done, it's done. And if it's not done, then we don't put it out yet. And it took a little bit of time, but kind of putting the finishing touches on it just really last week. It feels special. And we're, 3 singles in, and Rocky Mountain Low's doing its thing in the top 10 at radio. Empty Words is going. We're going to have 2 songs on the radio at the same time, which is crazy. Never really dreamed that was a possibility. So far people are really resonating with the new stuff, and it feels like we might be onto something special.
We're going to play Empty Words. I don't know. Give me a little story, a little anecdote about this one.
This is a deep cut that I never thought anybody would care about, that people really, really connected with. I thought it was going to be a song that I loved that nobody cared about, because that's usually how it goes. My favorite songs are, I mean, I think a lot of artists feel that way. But this song is it just doesn't sound like anything else. You know, it's it's got a lot of soulful influence in this, and we made this song, created like every aspect of it in the third floor of Combustion, just me and one of my best friends, Austin Goodlow, who's producing this record. And a lot of times you take the what you create in that moment, and then you're like, let's go to the studio, and then let's add all these A-list players, and let's see if we can make it better. This particular song, we were like, sometimes it just is perfect when you originally create it. And so we took what we originally created, we didn't mess with it, and we just put it out, and it's been a really awesome thing to see. I mean, we knew it was going to be special. We played this show in Sacramento. We just picked up a random show, and it was a little club, and it was a sold out crowd, and they sang this song like every word as loud as they sing Wild as Her or the stuff that's been on the radio. And so it just feels like they've taken ownership of this song, and now it's gonna be on the radio.
We're gonna play it. Also, guys, go watch Corey. If you go to Corey Kent Official, all the dates are up. You got a lot of shows all the way to the end of the year. So great live performer. I think people know you mostly as that. Like if they say, "Hey, what's Corey good at?" the first thing they say is he's great live. And
That's
so,
nice.
yeah, do you not know they say that? They should tell you that then, because mostly like people that like you and have like worked with you.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Living in Texas, it is really kind of tough to know what people think of you. I don't hear, like, I'm not seeking that out. I'm not trying to figure out what do people think of me all the time, but I'm also just like one layer removed from, I actually do ask my manager, I'm like, you know, are we doing good? I just don't know. Like, I feel like we're doing good, but I also I'm not here. Like, I'm not like immersed in it 24/7 like I used to be. And so
behind your back, people say, "Man, that dude's great live."
Right on.
Yeah.
That's the highest compliment to me, because I think a lot of people would write songs even if they didn't perform live. To me, I'm like, if I could record and write but I couldn't play live, I just would do something else. Like live music, even from that night with Willie Nelson, like that is why I got into this. Like live music is what I love. So that's reassuring. That's awesome.
We're going to play Empty Words. Got a new song out today called Cigarette Burn, so check it out as well and go see him as he plays live. I'm a big fan. Corey, good to see you, man.
Dude, good to see you too.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Everybody good?
Yep.
Yeah, man.
You guys had enough?
Well,
You guys were quiet.
Listen,
You
you're
guys
a
were
good-
so quiet.
You're a
I was
good
like,
storyteller. We're
Am I
listening.
talking too much? Like I didn't hear anything.
Trust me,
so-
if it wasn't good, we'd have been doing bits in between.
Oh, okay.
We'd have been like, "Amy, how do you feel about his hat?" We'll just look for stuff during bad guests.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, when you're killing it, dude, you're on your box.
I'd be like,
Thanks, man.
what kind of cologne do you wear? Because you smell really good.
That's when you know interviews are going bad. Yeah.
No,
like,
but really, he does.
he smells good.
Yeah.
He hugged you.
Well, maybe
'cause
that's
we
why.
don't smell him.
Maybe
It's,
that's why I still
yeah.
smell it.
I don't know. It's like I'm gonna mess this up. My freaking rednecks about the show. It's like La Labo.
La Labo.
Labo, yeah.
But it's not like the one that everybody knows.
Not the Santal.
No, it's not that. It's
I know
one of them though.
it's a new scent to me, but I like it.
La Labo Horse Stall is what,
Oh, yeah.
is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's at Nordstrom.
I'm always so impressed by people who can like smell something and be like, "That's this." I'm like, I don't possess that like dark magic that people can do. where
Corey,
they
I
can
got to
just-
play your song, dude. We're
All
gonna
right,
keep talking.
sorry.
I got to play Empty Words. All right,
Shut
he's
up.
got to
Play
go.
the song.
It's Corey Kent. This is his new song, Empty Words. Album comes out in September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ish.
All right, ish. There he is, Corey Kent. Everybody, great job.
Thank you guys.
It's a